Hello, everyone, and welcome to the inaugural induction ceremony for the American Craft Beer Hall of Fame. Today, we'll be honoring individuals whose passion, hard work, creativity, and innovation serve to lay the foundation for the craft beer industry today, and who will serve as inspiration to those building its future. Before we begin, the Hall would like to thank Craft, AJS Tap Handles, the Hop Guild, Belmont Station, and Beer Enthusiasts of America for their support in making this all happen. None of this would be possible without them, and with the additional support of craft beer drinkers from across the country. And now, it is my privilege to introduce the Hall's founder and president, Marty Nature.
Good afternoon, and welcome to the 2025 American Craft Beer Hall of Fame inaugural induction ceremony. I'm Marty Nature, and it's a true honor to host today's event, streaming live from breweries across the country. Today is a day of celebration and recognition, a celebration of the pioneers, innovators, and dedicated artisans who have shaped the craft beer industry into what it is today. The American Craft Beer Hall of Fame exists to preserve and honor their legacy and to inspire the next generation of brewers, entrepreneurs, and beer lovers to continue pushing the boundaries of what's possible in the world of craft beer. I'm here at the awesome Dovetail Brewery in Chicago, Illinois, and we are thrilled to be joined by several esteemed breweries for today's live stream event. These incredible breweries and many more like them across the country are part of the vibrant tapestry of the craft beer scene, and their contributions to that scene cannot be overstated. As we honor this year's inductees, I encourage you all to take a moment to reflect on the role that beer has played in your own lives, the friendships, the conversations, the memories, and of course, the beer that brought us all together. Craft beer is more than just a drink. It's a culture, it's a community, and it's a passion that unites us all across borders and time zones. So grab your glass, raise it high, and let's toast to tonight's inductees whose vision, hard work, and dedication and creativity have helped to make craft beer what it is today. Here to tell us a little bit more about today's awards is Hall of Fame Vice President John Fryer.
Thank you, Marty. My name is John Fryer. Been in the craft beer industry for 35 years, so long that it was called the microbrew industry back then. I started a beer distributorship in 1992, first specialty beer distributor in Chicago. Got involved with Three Floyds as a founding partner in 1996, and I still have my own marketing company focusing on wellness beverages called Atomic City Co-op, selling things like Never Too Hood sea moss and healthy drinks for you. So I'm here to show you first the certificate that we'll be presenting, suitable for framing. And also the award shaped like a tap handle, presented to us by Handcraft Tap Handles out of Random Lake, Wisconsin. They're one of our biggest sponsors for the Craft Beer Hall of Fame up to this point. Now I'd like to pass it on to Aaron.
Hello again, and thanks, John. My name is Aaron Gore, Secretary of the Board for the Hall and longtime industry professional and advocate. The 19 nominees for this year's inaugural class were selected by an advisory board made up of industry stalwarts and supporters from across the country. Nearly 100 members of the Hall's Board of Electors then cast their votes for the 10 nominees they believe most worthy of induction in this year's class. Nominees who received votes from at least 3/4 of the electors will be inducted into the Hall today, while any who fell short will still be eligible in future years for inclusion.
Thanks, Aaron. Let's start with our mission statement. The American Craft Beer Hall of Fame has been established to honor, celebrate, and commit to history those people who are responsible for initiating, sustaining, and promoting the American craft beer industry. This hall is to ensure that the memories of their contributions and achievements will not fade with time. For the past year and a half or so, a small board of directors has been working toward this mission, and this day, for our very first induction ceremony into the American Craft Beer Hall of Fame. But we certainly could not have done it and gotten here without so many people who have contributed to both the formation of the hall and this very event. Our 5 board members are backed by more than 40 advisors and over 100 electors from all areas of the craft beer industry. These industry Illuminati have donated their time, knowledge, expertise, and energy, helping us shape the Hall of Fame from the list of nominees and ultimately result in the election, which determines our inductees today. You can learn more about the Craft Beer Hall of Fame, meet our board of directors, read up on our code of ethics, and even check out our nonprofit status. And after today, you can even find our first inductees on our website at AmericanCraftBeerHallOfFame.com. And now here's Matt Simpson down in Georgia with New Realm.
Hey folks, this is Matt here at New Realm Brewing in Atlanta. My company is called The Beer Sommelier. It's a full-service craft beer consultancy. Been around for going on 20 years, 17, 18 years now. So I am going to name the breweries, the host breweries from West Coast all the way to East Coast. We're covering all time zones throughout the United States right now. On the West Coast, in Bend, Oregon, we've got Deschutes, and I want to preface this, it's too late to preface it, but that said, all of these breweries are world-class craft breweries in their own right, and we want to thank them for hosting today. We've got Deschutes in Bend, Oregon. In Denver, we've got Lager House. In Chicago, we've got Dovetail Brewery. In Delaware, we've got Dogfish Head. And right here in Atlanta, we're at New Realm Brewing. We're going to start out in Denver at the awesome Bierstadt Lager House. And Chris, you're next.
Downtown Denver, Colorado, the state of craft beer. I'm Chris Black, the former king of the Fallen Rock Tap House here with Ashley Carter, head brewer and one of the owners of the Beer Shop, to talk about their beer flow. And now we go over to Aaron.
I'm here at Dogfish Head Brewery in Delaware with founder and nominee for the Hall, Sam Calagione. Sam, can you tell us a little bit about the event? Give him the signals. Sam, can you tell us a bit about the American Craft Beer Hall of Fame and the importance of recognizing those who help to shape and grow this industry over the decades?
Well, it's an industry that has really relied more on the good karma that comes from focusing on collaboration than the negative energy that comes with focusing on competition. And all of tonight's winners are truly OG pioneers, but I can think of literally hundreds of examples of how each of them helped each other, whether it was just doing collaborative beers with each other or one brewery run out of grain and help the other brewery out. This industry was built on great karma and the goodness, the golden rule that exists between the brewers, our community, and our fans. So I'm really, really proud that we're hosting this event today. Proud to be a nominee. I think of Dogfish as a second generation craft brewery, and there's so many awesome first generation craft brewers that I learned from, and we're excited to be celebrating them on the East Coast through the United Area.
Oh, couldn't have said it better myself, Sam. And now kick it on over to Marty and John in Chicago.
I'm back here in Chicago at the wonderful Dovetail Brewery, and I'd like to bring in the owner, Hagen Dost, to say a few words.
Hey, everybody. Honored to be here. Honored to be asked. Marty, cheers. Let me take a sip. So Dovetail Brewery, continental European style beers, traditional methods. Got some spontaneously fermented beers just maturing in the barrels behind us. We're founded in 2016 by Bill Wesselink and me, and we met like a lot of people did in this industry at the Siebel Institute. We actually met over in Munich, and we decided that we were the only other person that we had ever met that decided that wanted to have a cool ship in their brewery and put every beer through it. So it's an honor to be here with all the other participants. We love and respect what you guys do. So cheers! Thanks for having us.
Cheers to that. Thank you, Hagen. And I'm going to toss it over to Matt at New Realm.
Lisa and Jake Harper here at Deschutes Pub in Portland. And let's talk a little bit about Deschutes. First of all, we asked you about one of the OGs.
Yeah, so Deschutes was founded in 1988 by our current owner, still Gary Fish. He had these visions of this tiny brew pub. You know, it was a small little hometown brew pub, and within the first 4 or 5 years, he realized that there was growth potential to be a regional brewery. If you fast forward 20 years, in this building we're sitting in, we opened the Portland Public House. I'm the head brewer here, and you know, I feel like to stay relevant in the craft beer industry for 36 years is a feat of itself, and really a testament of like the adaptability and creativity of the entire Deschutes team across the board.
And we have for our beer, our inductor beer, a Doppelbock.
Yeah, so I mean, with a name like Inductor, I decided to brew a Doppelbock. It's one of my favorite styles. It's really like well integrated malt complexity, ruby hue, notes of bread crust, chocolate, dark dried fruit, and just a hint of noble spice to finish it off.
Yeah, very great stuff. Cheers to everybody.
Prost.
And now we pitch it to Matt back in Georgia.
Hey there, I am at New Realm Brewing in Atlanta, and I am going to introduce the man who wrote literally the book on IPA. He was the man at Stone Brewing for you old timers who remember what the early days of amazing upward trajectory craft breweries were like. This is Mitch Steele, the one and only.
How's it going? It's an honor to be here at New Realm hosting this event today. Very thrilled to have this group here and be part of this inaugural Hall of Fame celebration. So cheers. Our beer, our inductor beer today is a rebrew of our grand opening and also our first anniversary triple IPA. And it's a 10%er loaded with hops, Eldorado, Citra, and a little bit of Nelson Sauvin. I thought, given the timing of this event, it was the perfect beer to rebrew and have available for everybody who's here watching. So cheers.
Now, we created a video, get all of this back again. We created a video, well, we didn't, certain people of notable talent created a video about the entire process. Let's watch it now.
So in case you weren't counting, there were 19 names mentioned in that video. Those 19 nominees, that some of whom will become inductees today. Unfortunately, for those who are not being inducted today, it's important to make note that they are still eligible next year and into the future. So I got a feeling we'll be seeing them again.
So, without further ado, Matt, will you start with the first inductee?
Our first inductee to the American Craft Beer Hall of Fame is Fritz Maytag. Often called the father of modern microbreweries, he's a legendary figure in American craft brewing. In 1965, Maytag purchased the struggling Anchor Brewing Company in San Francisco and dedicated himself to reviving its fortunes. He persevered and he perfected the indigenous steam beer style, a uniquely American brew setting, a new standard for quality, and innovation in beer production. His work at Anchor Brewing inspired countless others, laying the foundation for modern craft beer movement. His contributions to brewing were recognized with the prestigious James Beard Foundation's Lifetime Achievement Award in 2008. Through his vision and commitment, Maytag not only saved a historic brewery, but also sparked a revolution that transformed the beer industry. And I will say, thanks to stuffed sandwiches, Sam Angelo, I have in my personal collection a bottle of according to Sam, the very first case of Old Foghorn barley wine off the line at the brewery, and it is part of my permanent cellar collection. Now, Aaron, tell us our next inductee, please.
Our next inductee into the 2025 class of the American Craft Beer Hall of Fame is Michael Jackson. The son of Lithuanian Jews who settled in Yorkshire, England, and anglicized their name, Jackson began his career at age 16, becoming a cub reporter for his local newspaper. He later relocated to London to write for larger publications, both national and international. During an extended assignment in the Netherlands, he crossed over to Belgium, having been intrigued by a Trappist ale he'd enjoyed the day before, and that began his own love affair with beer. His first book, 1976, The English Pub, came about through a happy accident when he originally contracted another author, and they quit, and Jackson's version focused more on the beer. But it was his next book, written a year later, The World Guide to Beer, that solidified his fame and influence. It introduced the taxonomy and concept of our modern beer styles, and at that time, he began visiting the U.S. often, inspiring countless new brews. In the mid-1980s, he held what was arguably the first beer dinner in New York City, expanded his writing to include whiskey, and wrote and starred in a UK-produced 6-part television documentary series on beer. He went on to pen over a dozen books on both beer and whiskey, received numerous awards and accolades, and continued tirelessly to promote beer around the world. Throughout his life, he was known both as the beer hunter and the bard of beer. Jackson tragically passed away from complications due to Parkinson's disease in 2007 at the age of 65.
All right, our next inductee is Charlie Papazian. In 1978, Papazian founded the American Homebrewers Association, and just a year later, he founded the Association of Brewers, which in 2005 merged with the Brewers Association of America to form the current Brewers Association, and Charlie was named the president of the combined organization. He's probably best known for his authorship of the best-selling book, The Complete Joy of Homebrewing, which is credited with starting a brew-at-home revolution here in the United States. Other organizations and events subsequently founded by Charlie include the Institute for Brewing Studies, Brewers Publications, Zymurgy Magazine, and the Great American Beer Festival and the World Beer Cup, the latter two being the largest commercial beer competitions in the world. And now, on to the next one.
Thanks, Chris. And our next inductee into the American Craft Beer Hall of Fame is Fred Eckhart. Fred Eckhart was a trailblazer in the world of American beer. widely regarded as the Dean of American beer writers. A pioneer in the fields of home brewing and commercial brewing advocacy, Eckhart helped shape the modern craft beer movement with his extensive knowledge, passion, and engaging writing style. In 1970, Eckhart released his first beer book, a treatise on beer lagers, how to make good beer at home. It's important to note that home brewing didn't even become legal in the United States until almost a decade later, in 1979. In 1989, Eckhart authored The Essentials of Beer Styles, a seminal work that provided a comprehensive guide to beer styles, serving as a cornerstone for home brewers and professional brewers alike. So through his columns, lectures, and books, Fred was craft beer's muse, advocating beer education and inspiring countless enthusiasts to explore, innovate, and listen to your beer. Based in Portland, Oregon, Fred Eckhart was an influential figure in the craft beer renaissance, far beyond the Pacific Northwest. His legacy endures in the vibrant beer culture he helped cultivate, celebrated by brewers and beer drinkers around the world. What's that? Oh, it's time to toss to John and Marty at Dovetail? Okay, well, here we go. Thank you so much. Cheers.
Okay, our next inductees. There's a trio. It's Jack McAuliffe, Susie Stern, and Jane Zimmerman. And stay with me, folks. This is going to take a little bit. Jack McAuliffe developed a taste for good beer when he was stationed with the Navy in Scotland. He began homebrewing at that time and eventually developed plans to open a brewery. He relocated to Sonoma, California, and persuaded two friends to become partners in the New Albion Brewing Company, widely recognized as the first modern craft brewery in the United States. Susie Stern was a former employee at the United Nations in New York, but transplanted to Sonoma County where she met Jack. She was intrigued by Jack's plans and decided not just to invest in the brewery, but also to take on an important role there. Aside from a 10-day brewing seminar in New York, Susie was mostly a self-taught brewer. Later, when full-time brewers were hired on, Susie took over administrative duties at the brewery. Jane Zimmerman, a friend of Susie Stern, also invested in the budding brewery and began working in various roles there from the very start. Working together, their pioneering venture introduced the concept of small independent breweries dedicated to producing high-quality, flavorful ales, thus laying the groundwork for the American craft beer revolution. In collaboration with other California brewers, the trio lobbied for Assembly Bill 3610, which made it legal for establishments to both produce and serve alcohol on site. This legislative change was instrumental in enabling the brewpub and microbrewery models that became hallmarks of the craft beer movement. Though New Albion Brewing Company closed in 1982, its influence endured, inspiring a new generation of brewers and reshaping the modern beer industry. McAuliffe, Stern, and Zimmerman's innovative vision and pioneering efforts remain a cornerstone of the American craft brewing history. And this time, I really do toss it to Matt.
And our sixth nominee is Ken Grossman from Sierra Nevada. Ken Grossman is a legendary figure in American craft brewing and the co-founder of Sierra Nevada Brewing Company, established in 1978 in Chico, California. A passionate home brewer from an early age, Grossman experimented with the innovative techniques and ingredients which led him to create more hop-forward beers that challenged traditional brewing norms. In 1980, Grossman introduced Sierra Nevada Pale Ale, a game-changing beer that utilized the relatively new Cascade hop variety. With its bold citrusy flavor and balanced bitterness, this beer became an instant classic, sparking the American craft beer renaissance and setting the standard for the industry. Under Grossman's leadership, Sierra Nevada grew into one of the most successful and respected craft breweries in the world. It was among the first to celebrate 40 years in business. a testament to his dedication to quality, sustainability, and innovation. Grossman's legacy continues to inspire brewers and beer lovers alike, solidifying his place as one of the craft beer movement's true pioneers. And I will add, it has inspired more home brewers than arguably any other brewery in history. And now, for the 7th inductee, back to you, Aaron.
Thank you, Matt. Our next inductee to the 2025 class of the American Craft Beer Hall of Fame is Jim Cook of Boston Beer Company. Born in Cincinnati into a family that for 5 generations brewed beer, Jim's father initially discouraged him from pursuing it. He initially worked with Outward Bound before completing his dual MBA JD from Harvard and joining Boston Consulting Group, where he spent several years counseling business leaders. But he was convinced there was an opportunity for flavorful beer and left consulting to go found Boston Beer Company. Adapting his great-great-grandfather's recipe for Lewis Cook Lager, he launched Sam Adams Boston Lager in 1985. And today, it's one of the largest beer brands in the country. Cook continued to push the boundaries of beer with such unique beers as Triple Bock, the Barrel Room Collection, and Utopias, one of the strongest beers in the world. And Sam, you've been friends with Jim for quite a while now, friends with Ken, friends with a lot of people on this list. Would love if you'd be able to say a few words in particular.
Yeah, thanks, Aaron. And at the top of tonight's show, I mentioned just how much our community of American craft brewers has relied on the great energy of collaboration. And so it warmed my heart to hear these names ring out tonight of the inaugural class. So many of them have been through this brewery, Aaron, where you and I are sitting here. Charlie Potassium brewed Goat Scrotum Ale in this very room, and did a special video for Dan Weber of pointing at our brewer, where he said 2002 called Dan and they want their black IPA back. Ken Grossman Dogfish was the first brewery in America to do a collaborative beer with Ken Grossman. I think so much of the Grossman family in Sierra Nevada as pioneers. Michael Jackson, having him win, we did a collaboration with Michael back in the late 90s with Harold Brewery in the Czech Republic, and he truly is the modern patriarch of beer journalism. And of course, our ultimate existential collaboration has been with Jim Cook and Sam Adams. We're super proud. Yeah, we're super proud of you, Jim. So Sam Adams celebrated our 40th anniversary last year. I was lucky enough to serve on the board of the Brewers Association with Jim for over a decade, and he's always been community first and commerce second. I know he's super duper proud to be in this inaugural class, and I toast you, Jim Cook, and to all this year's winners. Let's give it up. Cheers.
And with that, over to you, Lisa, for the next inductee.
All right. Our next inductee is 2 people. It's Charles and Roseanne Finkel. They are visionary pioneers in the American craft beer movement, celebrated for their transformative contributions to beer culture. In 1978, the husband and wife team founded Merchant de Vin, a groundbreaking importing company that introduced Americans to classic beer styles from the UK, Belgium, France, Norway, and Germany. Their efforts helped elevate the appreciation of beer as a complex and diverse beverage, paving the way for craft beer revolution. In 1989, the Finkels founded Pike Place Brewing in Seattle, Washington. The brewery became a beloved institution known for its innovative beers and dedication to quality. That same year, I first met Charles and Roseanne as a young 26-year-old beer manager of a statewide fine wine distributor in Houston, Texas. When the Finkels were first married, they had lived in Houston and wanted to drive by the house that they had lived in, which was near the original Ginger Man down near Rice University. They were an amazing couple and amazing people to hang out with. Charles Finkel was recognized as one of the Draft Magazine's top 10 beer innovators in 2011, reflecting his enduring impact on the industry. Roseanne Finkel's legacy lives on through the Roseanne Finkel Diversity and Brewing Scholarship in Washington State University, supporting underrepresented students in brewing sciences and honoring her commitment to inclusivity and education. Together, the Finkels shaped the American beer landscape, leaving an indelible mark on the industry and the communities they inspired. So off to the next one here to Lisa.
Thanks, Chris. And now for our very last inductee into the American Craft Beer Hall of Fame for this year. There should be no argument that Burt Grant was a trailblazer in the American craft beer movement, known for his ingenuity and lasting impact on the brewing industry. In 1982, Grant opened the Yakima Brewing and Malting Company in Yakima, Washington, the very first post-prohibition brew pub in the United States. This groundbreaking venture became the model for the modern brew pub, inspiring countless others to follow, like the one right here. Grant's brewing innovations included creating Grant's Imperial Stout, believed to be the first Imperial Stout brewed in the United States, and advocating for the India Pale Ale style, helping to popularize it across the country. Beyond brewing, Burt Grant was an innovator in hop production, credited with building the first hop pelletizing machine in the US. And it was a development that revolutionized the industry by improving hop storage and utilization. Known for his sharp wit, relentless passion, and oft-worn kilt, Burt Grant remains an iconic figure whose pioneering spirit helped shape the modern craft beer landscape. And those are the inductees. Let's head back to Chicago with some final words from John and Marty.
And so we'd like to congratulate all the first class of the Craft Beer Hall of Fame induction class. Fritz Maytag, Michael Jackson, Charlie Papazian, Fred Eckert, Jack McAuliffe and the New Albion crew, Ken Grossman, Jim Cook, Charlie and Rose Finkel, and Burt Grant. Cheers.
All right. Thank you, John. Okay. Thank you, everyone, for joining us in this historic celebration of American craft beer. The inductees we've honored today are the trailblazers who have left an indelible mark in our industry, and we look forward to seeing how their influence continues to inspire the next generation of brewers. As we close today's ceremony, I want to gratefully acknowledge the generous support of our sponsors, Hank's Craft AJS Tap Handles, the Hop Guild, Belmont Station, and Beer Enthusiasts of America, and to remind all of you that if you think what we're doing is worthy of your support, additional financial patronage is always welcomed. The American Craft Beer Hall of Fame is a 501c3 not-for-profit organization, so you can make tax-free donations via our website, americancraftbeerhalloffame.com. Simply click on the support tab, and there you'll find convenient methods of payment, including PayPal, Venmo, and Cash App. And remember, no donation is too small. I'd also like to thank again our participating breweries, Bierstadt Lagerhaus, Dogfish Head, Deschutes, New Realm, and Dovetail for making this event possible and for their unwavering commitment to quality and craftsmanship. I would like to express my deep gratitude to my fellow directors who have worked diligently for many months to make this all happen. And thanks also to all the advisors, electors, and historians for their continued contributions to the Hall's success. Lastly, I would like to thank all of you who tuned in and turned out to view this ceremony. Well, that wraps it up for this year, but American Craft Beer Hall of Fame will continue to celebrate and elevate the craft beer community. And we hope to see you all again next year. Until then, keep raising your glass and supporting craft beer. Cheers.